in his Google Drive, he actually had folders, and the folders were labeled by different girls, right? Like I said, in each folder, it was the girls' nasty pictures, videos, and shit like that, right? Of that specific female. And he also had family members in there too.
He had nudes of his family members? Oh no, this nigga is tweaking.
And then I had brought up the fact that I had actually came across the Google Drive that I was telling y'all about. He looked like he seen a ghost.
But this man had a folder for every woman's ass that she related to. That shit is trifling, bruh. So he was just going to family functions, just in the corner with his phone zooming in on girls' ass, taking pictures of it. Bro, that shit is nasty. Welcome back to another episode of Clocked Out Conversations. I'm your host, Fahim, and today we got some more TikTok content. Storytime, how I discovered my baby daddy's crazy secret, part 1. I'm not here to waste your time. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more, and let's get into it.
Hey TikTok, story time with me while I drive home in this little nasty weather from picking my daughter up from school. It was 3 or 4 years ago when this happened. I used to work at Chick-fil-A. Shout out to everybody who works at Chick-fil-A or who used to work at Chick-fil-A. And the day started, I was at work. I got off for work before my baby father got off for work. So once I got off for work, I had went to go pick up my daughter from my mom's house. My mom was the designated babysitter for her during that time because she was too young to be put in school, of course. She was still an infant, and we didn't want her in daycare. So my mom used to watch her. So once I got off for work, I went to go pick my daughter up. I also had to go to the market that day as well. So after I picked my daughter up from my mom's house, I had went to the market so that I can, of course, fill the house up with the groceries and do my motherly duties to cook dinner. So my bad, y'all, the video had cut out. But, of course, I had to go shopping for groceries so that I could cook dinner for the rest of the week. Motherly duty shit. So after I went grocery shopping, I still had an extra hour to spare while before I had to go and pick up my child's father from his job. So I ended up going back to the house that me and him had shared, and I was in the parking lot. So of course, when you have an infant in a car seat and you also have groceries from shopping, you mentally have to sit there in the car to think about how the hell you're going to take all of this shit up the steps. And then we also lived on the 3rd floor, so of course it was going to be a lot of trips I was going to have to make back and forth. So I just sat in the car real fast before I had to do that shit. So while I was sitting in the car, I had got a phone call from my baby father's brother, which is his twin girlfriend. While I was sitting in the car, I received a phone call from my baby father's twin girlfriend, and she had called me because she wanted to explain to me what she was seeing as far as messages that were being exchanged from her boyfriend and my boyfriend. So she was like, hey, I don't want you to say anything to him. We're gonna call her boyfriend so-and-so. So she's like, so-and-so had left his iPad at the house. And what niggas don't understand, and I don't think they will ever understand, is that when you have Apple devices, multiple Apple devices, all of those devices are connected by the iCloud that they utilize. So whether it's an iPad, whether it's an iPhone, whether it's a MacBook, your messages are going to pop up on every Apple device. Stupid. So he left his iPad in the house, and my boyfriend and her boyfriend was. So
I'm not gonna lie, her boyfriend's brother's girlfriend texting her or getting in contact with her about what their boyfriends are doing is hilarious. Let's keep going.
My boyfriend and her boyfriend were texting as we were speaking as me and my baby father's twin girlfriend was talking on the phone. So the messages that she was seeing was about them trying to fuck some girl with a fat ass. Mind you, I'm the type where if I got a nigga and he may see a girl with a fat ass, I ain't gonna say nothing. If he say, oh damn, that ass is fat, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck, because if her ass fat, her ass fat. I might just say her ass is fat. Like, y'all feel me? So I'm like,
I never liked those types of girls that were down with saying another girl's butt was big. Strikes me as a weirdo. Let's keep going.
Okay, so she's still reading them to me, and they talking about fucking the girl. So I'm like, okay, this is where I draw the line. We not fucking nobody else. What's going on? So she's like, but I don't want you to say anything. I'm gonna send you the screenshot so that you can read it. So I'm like, okay, and I explained to her, listen, I'm about to go pick him up from work, so I'm gonna read them, but I'm not gonna say nothing to him until. So she didn't want me to say nothing to him until they both got out for work. Because what tends to happen is when you have brothers, especially twins, and they doing some sneaky shit, of course they're going to stick up for each other. And they have manipulated situations that they were in before and tried to lie for each other. So she said, don't say nothing. I said, I'm not, right? So it's about time for me to go and pick this man up from work. And I pull up to his job. You know, I'm acting normal, acting casual. Hey, babe, how was work? He give me a kiss. He kissed the baby. And I'm like, he like, you went to the grocery store? I'm like, yeah, I went to go get these groceries or whatever. So I tell him, I'm like, I want Subway. I told him I wanted Subway because I needed to spare some time before we got in the house so that I could read them motherfucking screenshots. And then we also had to go to the store to get my daughter's formula, because at that time she could only drink a particular formula that wasn't sold in every store. So he like, all right, cool, let's go to the store, right? So I tell him, babe, I'm tired of driving. Can I sit in the passenger seat? Also trying to spare some time so that I can read these motherfucking screenshots. So he like, all right, cool, babe, yeah, I drive. So we make our way to the store. And I'm like, babe, I don't want to go in. Mind you, sparing time. I'm like, I don't want to go in. I'm going to sit in the car. He like, all right, cool. I'm going to run in there, get the formula. I'm like, all right, cool. So while he go in there, I straight open up the screenshots that she sent me. And I start reading them. So as I'm reading them, I'm reading everything that he said to his twin about them fucking this girl, about, you know, find her on Instagram, shit like that.
That has always been weird to me. Dudes that go around just talking about how they want to have sex with the same girl, that stuff is hella weird, bro. It's very weird and it's very disgusting. I don't like that. Let's keep going.
And then I seen a blue fucking bubble, and it was a Gmail account. So I wanted to be nosy, and I wanted to see what was in this fucking Gmail account. Mind y'all, the Gmail account was listed sexphotos98@gmail.com. So I'm like, I see this Gmail account, sexphotos98 at gmail.com, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? So he sent it to his brother as along with the password to the Gmail account. So my nosy ass, I want to see what's in there. So I go ahead and log on to my on my phone. I log on to the Gmail account on my phone, and I was so happy that it didn't send him any alerts, because shit, I was being nosy. I've done forgot all about the fucking cheating shit. So I goes to look in it, and y'all, when I tell y'all, my heart dropped to my ass. My heart dropped to my ass. Like, I went fucking pale in this passenger seat. I could not believe what I seen in that fucking Google Gmail account. Lord have mercy. Y'all not ready for this. So for those who don't know, Google has multiple work platforms, and one of the work platforms that they have is Google Drive, where you can save your documents, videos, pictures, audio, shit like that, right? So in his Google Drive, he actually had folders, and the folders were labeled by different girls, right? So each girl had their own folder. When I tell y'all, it was on some serial killer shit. The shit was so organized, it was crazy. Like, it was organized to the T. And so I kept scrolling to see what the fuck this was, and I seen my motherfucking name. So I click on my motherfucking name, and I see my vulgar photos and videos and pictures of pictures that I didn't even know was taken of me, sleep or just walking around the house. And it was the same for other females, same kind of pictures that they had, that he had. And so the first thing that came to my mind was, when the fuck did he have time to do all of this shit? So I'm looking at pictures and seeing how old these pictures are. These pictures date back until when we even started talking again, which was about, like, I don't even fucking remember. That's how long it dated back to. So he been doing this shit for a while.
That dude is weird, bruh. So he has just a compilation of nudes from multiple women in his phone, just sitting there, and they're organized. He organized them things like a secretary. That man organized the nudes in his phone. Criminal activity. That's crazy. And it's not nudes just from her. I mean, nudes with your girlfriend. People do stuff like that. But you took these nudes when she wasn't looking? Creepy? She was probably asleep. You taking pictures of the nude? Creepy? She walking around just random? Creepy? Let's keep going.
And my heart dropped to my ass. So the first thing that I did was I texted my aunt and said, you need to get to my house ASAP, because I knew something was going to go down. Because when I seen that shit, y'all, I wanted to put this man on his neck. So I'm still trying to play it cool. I done forgot all about the fucking, like I said, the cheating shit, the wanting to fuck the girl. I don't even give a fuck about that anymore, because now it's personal. It's personal now. So after I had texted my aunt, like I said, y'all, my heart already dropped to my ass, because I just seen all of these folders labeled by these girls' names, and then, like I said, in each folder it was the girls' nasty pictures, videos, and shit like that, right? Of that specific female. And he also had family members in there too. So he's on his way back to the car. Again, my heart is in my ass.
He had nudes of his family members? Oh, no. This nigga is tweaking. What? Oh, man.
So he gets in the car. He like, you good, babe? Because he can clearly see on my face that I just seen some shit that scared the shit out of me. So I'm like, yeah, I'm cool. So he's like, all right, I'm ready to ride over the Subway. I'm like, no, you ain't even got to do all that. Mind you, Subway was in the same parking lot as the store. So he like, you sure? I said, yeah, I'm going to just cook dinner. Bitch, I don't want no fucking Subway. I want dinner now. I'm going to cook dinner. So we ride back to our house. Our house wasn't far from the store. So we parked the car. He's like, take the baby up and I'll take the groceries up. So I'm like, so once he told me to take the baby up, I'm like, all right, cool. So I took her upstairs. Mind y'all, we live on the 3rd floor in our apartment complex, and he was going to take the groceries up. So I go inside of the house, heart pounding, and I put my daughter in her crib. I turned on a movie, I turned the lights off, and I closed the fucking door because I knew some shit was going to go down. So I tied my hair up and I changed my clothes into something comfortable because I was ready rock shit. So he's constantly in and out trying to bring the groceries up. So eventually he was done, and he was sweating like a bitch. And I was supposed to help him with the groceries, but I ain't never come back down that bitch. I'm not helping you with no fucking groceries. So he like, damn, babe, you forgot about me. I'm like, my bad.
So she from Baltimore for sure. She gotta be from Baltimore. I would talk to people in college before, and they from Baltimore. They be like, you. Let's keep going.
I had to put the baby down, whatever. So he's sitting down, he's sweating like a bitch, sitting at the dining room table. So I stand right there, because I'm about to approach his ass about everything that I seen today.
What's up, y'all? So TikTok removed the sound out of my video, but it's cool because I'm about to make part 12. This would be part 12? Yeah. So after he had brought up the groceries, he was sitting at the table or whatever, and I was about to approach him. So I had approached him about what I was sent from his brother's girlfriend, which contained, of course, the screenshots about him wanting to have sex with this girl. And so then I proceeded to ask him to explain himself. But then I cut him off while he was about to explain himself about that. And then I had brought up the fact that I had actually came across the Google Drive that I was telling y'all about. So from that point on, I could tell that he exactly knew what I was talking about, because I see he looked like he seen the ghost as soon as I said Google Drive folder. And And then I did the rundown about what I seen in there with the folders and the females attached to each folder and their pictures and their videos that were inappropriate content. So after that, I had specifically told him, I said, you can go ahead and try and explain yourself, right? So I guess he tries to explain himself. But then I also went ahead and told him, you need to call your mom, because I knew that it was going to get a little ugly that night. So before he can even get any words out, I went ahead and did the do. So we were scrapping in there in that motherfucking apartment, just scrapping. So when I say that we were scrapping, yeah, we were scrapping that night. But when I did approach him and I tried to let him explain himself, my first reaction was to fight, especially when you hear something like that. And especially when you've been holding this in all day to find the right time to approach the person, you're gonna want to, you're gonna want to fight. So I told him that he needed to call his mom because it was getting too real. It was already real, but it was getting realer. So he acted like he didn't want to call his mother. So I called his mother's phone right off of my phone. Called her. Mind y'all, my phone was about to die. My phone was about to die that night. So I called his mother and I'm like, hey, I just want to let you know, your son is about to get it. So she thinking I'm playing because he keeps saying in the background, Ma, hang up the phone. Ma, hang up the phone. She just playing. Who playing? Ain't no board games in the house tonight. And if it is board games in the house tonight, I wasn't aware because I'm not playing. Love his mother to death. That's my girl. But she didn't, I don't think she actually knew what was going on, because the way I did explain certain things to her on the phone, I was also upset, and he was screaming in the background talking about something, don't listen to her, Ma, don't listen to her, Ma. But eventually the phone had died on her. So of course our phone call got disconnected. I'm really upset my phone had died on his mom. But after my phone had died, I was still trying to wrap my head around the fact that this was happening. Like, this was my life. Like, I couldn't understand when he had the time to do these things or when this started. But when I did go through the Google Drive folder, there were pictures and videos dating back to when we first started talking again. And pictures and videos from family functions, my family functions, of lumps and humps, if y'all know what I mean. The curvaceous bodies and stuff like that. So it was a lot in there, a lot of stuff that I probably cannot say over TikTok because TikTok keep removing my motherfucking sounds.
This man was taking pictures of his relative's ass at family functions. Trifling.
But anyway, we were scrapping. Like I said, we were scrapping real bad. It started in the living room and then it ended up on the bed in our bedroom. And as we were scrapping, he was telling me in my ear, you made me do this, and he liked thick people, thick females or whatever he was talking about. So in my head, I'm like, I made you do this. How I make you do this? How the fuck I make you do this? And then on top of that, during that time, I was really small. Really small. Body-wise, I was small. And I was real mad. I was mad as shit that I was small. Because how the hell I have a baby? A baby. And I snapped back like that. The one time I don't want to snap back, I snapped back. So I ain't had no ass. I ain't had no boobies. So, of course, that made me very insecure with my body. I felt the need that I wanted to gain more weight so that I can look like some of the women in my family. And that's true shit. So after we was done scrapping or whatever, my aunt had walked through the door. I had walked past my aunt and I had left out the house. Mind y'all, somewhere in that mix, I was able to put my phone on the charger. So I had grabbed my phone and I had called my father. So I'm calling my father outside in the parking lot. I'm talking about where you at? Where you at? Me and this man in here fighting. This man hurt. This man did this did that, right? So he like, what's going on? What's going on? It's late at night too. It's nighttime. He like, what's going on? What's going on? I'm like, it don't matter. It don't matter. Come and get him. Come and get him. So he like, what's going on? Yeah, you got to calm down. I'm like, it don't matter. It don't matter. When I say come and get this man, come and get this man. So my father said he was on his way. So while my father was on his way, I went back upstairs and I seen that my daughter was out her crib, and I went in our room, and that's where my aunt and him was, and he was holding our daughter. So when I seen him holding our daughter, I instantly stopped in my tracks because there was a previous situation in the past where we got into a real bad argument, and I put my hands on him while he was holding our child, and I'll never forgave myself for that because that was some dumbass shit. I don't understand why the fuck I did that. I think it was my anger, but that does not excuse the fact that I put my hands on him while he was holding our child. So he knows that because he was holding our child, I wasn't going to put my hands on him.
Listen, that man right there, he's trifling. That brother right there, he is out of his mind. He's a pervert. He's perverted all the way. And that's horrible. But that does not justify you being domestically abusive. Just saying. Just saying.
So I'm like, give me my child. Give me my child. Why you hold my child? Why you get her out of her crib? I don't understand that. So I tell my aunt, I'm like, hey, tell him to give me my child. Tell him to give me my child. She's like, yay, I can't. You know, that's his child too. I respect that. Clock it, right? So while he was still holding her, he had walked out the room. So me and my aunt is in the room. So I believe I'm trying to explain to my aunt what just happened and how we were scrapping or whatever. So then I believe, I don't know if he had called his stepfather or his brother. I don't know who called them, but I know that my father was on his way and my aunt was already there. So I realized that he was grabbing our daughter's belongings, like her diaper bag, and he was getting, you know, his wallet and stuff like that, and them keys. I heard them keys, baby. Baby, where are you going? Because when I heard them keys, oh, baby, you're not going nowhere. So I'm following him out the door. I'm like, where are you going? Where are you going? Especially with my child. Where are you going? So we go all the way down to the parking lot. So once we got to the parking lot, that's when I seen everybody started to pull up. So his brother was pulling up. His brother was getting out the car. My father started pulling up. And I believe his stepfather had pulled up the same time that his brother had pulled up. So the brother was walking towards the car. And I'm still trying to fuss my boyfriend out. And the brother like, what's going on? I look at the brother. Sir, don't talk to me. Don't talk to me right now. Don't talk to me. And of course I reacted that way because you know about the Gmail account.
We gonna call them the perverted twins. They the perverted twins. Let's keep going.
So then he tries to put my daughter in her car seat and he tries to pull off in the car. You're not going anywhere. So I'm trying to grab the keys out of his hand. So we get to scrapping again on top of other people's cars. We on top of other people's cars, y'all. Cars. Of course, everybody tried to work up our little scuffle on top of other people's cars because we sitting there fighting over the car keys because he tried to pull off. So my father and his stepfather had told him to take a walk down the street with them so that they can have a man-to-man conversation about whatever, who knows what. So, of course, me being me, the tourist that I am, baby, where you going? I want to be a part of the conversation. Because what you're not going to do is you're not going to tell half the story. Because that's what you're going to do. You're going to tell half the story. But my father told me stay my little ass right here. So I had to stay my little ass where I was at. So I guess their man-to-man conversation was about the basis of what happened, how we got to the point that we were at that night. And so they told him that the best thing to do is get his stuff, some of his stuff, and spend the night somewhere else until everything dies down. So while they are having that man-to-man conversation, of course, what I'm going to do is, me being the black woman scorned, I'm going to go upstairs and I'm going to tear shit up. So I get to tearing shit up. So I get to pulling shirts out the dresser, ripping them up, shirts that I bought. I get to throwing PlayStations at the door, throwing controllers at the door, breaking glass and shit.
Not the PlayStation. Not the PlayStation.
Like real Tyler Perry, a black woman scorn type shit, right? Because the only thing that was running through my mind is that I'm a folder. I'm a folder. How the fuck I get to the point of becoming a folder? Like, damn. I couldn't even be a hidden picture. I was a folder. So I goes back downstairs into the parking lot, and then I see that my cousins pull up because I believe that my aunt had called the rest of my cousins and the rest of my aunts that were included inside of that folder. So my cousin had her boyfriend with her as well. So as I'm coming down the steps to meet them in the parking lot, my boyfriend and my father and his stepfather and his twin brother are going upstairs into the apartment so that he can get his stuff. So my cousins and my aunts, they already pretty much know the basis of what's going on. So we chill out on the front steps of the apartment complex, but my cousin boyfriend is on go mode. Of course he's on go mode because he knows that his girlfriend is inside of these folders as well. So my cousin boyfriend is like, where he at? Where he at? Of course, they wouldn't let him get to him, unfortunately, but whatever. So we sitting on the steps, and I'm showing them everything that's in the Gmail account. And so they get to crying because they're like, yo, this shit is crazy. This is crazy. We in this folder. We have our own folders. So they crying or whatever. So we get to talking about it.
This is not funny. But this man had a folder for every woman's ass that she related to. That shit is trifling, bruh. So he was just going to family functions, just in the corner with his phone, zooming in on girls' ass, taking pictures of it. Bro, that shit is nasty.
And we got my other aunt on the phone. I called my sister about it. You know, she crying about it as well. So it was a lot. So we just casually chilling on the steps. They have my daughter in their arms. And we just waiting for everything to die down. So in my mind, I'm just like, this ain't over. Nah, this ain't over. So while they having their little conversation, shits and giggles, I haul ass Speedy Gonzalez up the steps. 3 flights of steps. So after I haul ass up the steps, I bust through the door. And I want to scrap again. Like, I just want to fight. Like, I just wanted to fight all night. Like, I don't care if the sun came up. I just had so much anger. So I get to call him all of these names, all these inappropriate names, and I'm telling him, like, you ain't never gonna be around my family no more. I'm never bringing you around my family. He like, I ain't missing out on nothing. Of course you ain't missing out on nothing. Of course you not. Cause you done already seen everything. You got what you wanted. So I'm really trying to get to this man, but they keep blocking me. I was so upset. They kept blocking me. So he proceeds to grab like the little savings, little container where we had like all of our loose change and dollars and stuff like that. There was some money in there. So I'm like, where you going with that, baby? Where is you going with that? So he like, you ain't put nothing up to this savings. I put all this money in there. I was like, you know what? You right. In my head, I said that. But out loud, baby, I want that money. So I tried my best to get to him, but they would not let me get to him.
She won $1 for every ass she found inside them damn folders. Let's keep going.
Mind y'all, when I did run up the steps, my family that was outside with me had ran after me, which was my cousins. They had ran after me. So I'm really trying to get to this man, and they won't let me get to him. So I'm just crying. I'm really crying because my emotions are everywhere. So I find myself leaving out the door. I'm screaming. I'm crying. I fall on the floor. All types of shit. So I'm just like, I can't believe this. And my father walks out the door. You know, he picks me up. He like, it's going to be okay. And, you know, just trying to comfort me in this time with all of these emotions. So eventually after that, time went by. He got his stuff, and they had walked him out the door, and he had left. And I guess he left with his brother and his stepfather. So time went by, and he left with his brother and his stepfather. My father had stayed, and my family had stayed as well. So my mom had showed up because I believe that my aunt had called my mom. She had came from work. She had showed up. And we were sitting inside of the living room, and all of that mess that I had created with all of his stuff thrown away or thrown around and things like that. So we just get to talking about how everything happened, how everything ran down, how could this possibly happen, and his mental state. So they were just asking me if I wanted to stay in the house that night or if I wanted to leave. I told them that I was going to stay in the house. If I can remember, I believe my father or one of my family members, if I'm not mistaken, had took our daughter so that I can just get some rest. I fell asleep right on the couch. And after that, that was the night. I appreciate y'all for listening to this story. I know it was all over the place and it was crazy, and there's so many parts to this story, and this is only the first entire part to the story. There are more pieces to this entire story, so come back for more. Like it, share it, so that y'all can hear the rest. Before I officially end this video, like I said, there's no bad blood. I still love some of his family members. So with that being said, good night, y'all. Bye. So I'm glad y'all enjoyed my last story time. Y'all asked for more, so I'm gonna give y'all more. So previous to all of that happening, me and my child's father, my aunt and her husband and her kids were planning a trip to Disney World. Mind y'all, everything was already pretty much paid for. We was just waiting for the day of departure so that we can go ahead and celebrate her daughter's birthday as well as my daughter's birthday at Disney World. So that day had arrived. But we already knew that she wasn't going to go as planned because all of that just went down. And we were going to Disney, I believe, 2 weeks after that? So I was still in the house with my child's father and my child, and we were pretty much packing for Disney. He knew that it wasn't the best idea to be around my aunt and her husband and her kids, so he had to come up a little later and stay in a different hotel than us, because we were staying in the Airbnb. The trip was super awkward, super weird, because all of this shit just went down, and we were there to celebrate my daughter turning 1, as well as my aunt's daughter turning 1 as well.
Now, who want to go on a trip with a pervert knowing that as a woman you can get your ass plastered on the internet somewhere about some creep that got folders of big booties of family members? Who want to do that, bro? Come on, let's keep going.
So, like I said, it was awkward, very weird. After that trip was over, we were still living in the house. And when I mean we, I'm talking about myself as well as our child. I came to the realization that this wasn't going to work. I pretty much already knew that it wasn't going to work, but I was trying to at least keep my family together for the sake of our child. But where people get the shit messed up is that you do not have to do that. If you're not emotionally in the relationship, dip on niggas. So I dipped on niggas. So I ended up packing a few things and packing a few of my child's things so that we can move in with my mom. So we was at my mom's for quite some time before I officially gathered all of our things. Side note, so in the other story time, I told y'all about how we pretty much had everything together. The apartment, the car, and some other things that we had together. So during this time, I had our car. We had a truck. And while I was at my mom's house, that was the vehicle that I was using, and he did not have a vehicle to use. So one day, he did text my phone and was like, hey, I'm want to go up to where we got our car from so that way his name can be removed from the loan. So I said, okay, cool. So I packed myself and I packed our child up and I got in the car. I went to the apartment to pick him up, and now we are on our way to get his name off of the loan. So we arrive at the dealership, and we are sitting inside of the dealership with the person who had helped us get the car. And I hear him and my child's father discussing a few things, and it kind of caught me off guard because I'm like, wait a minute. We came here to discuss getting your name off the loan. Yo, tell me why he bamboozled me, told me to go to the dealership. We are there, and he's telling this man that he wants to trade in this car to get himself a fucking car, y'all. Like, it was the craziest shit ever. So we still arguing back and forth about how he was going to drop me off at the gas station. Never dropped me off at the gas station, but whatever. He had went to his mom's house. He still had the car, the keys. Wasn't going to fight him about it anymore. Like, I'm tired. So he took our daughter inside of the house, and he went inside the house as well. Side note, prior to that, we had discussed certain days that he was going to get our child to spend some time with her. So the dealership day was his first day he was going to spend time with our child. So that's why he had took her in the house. But anyway, when they had went in the house, of course I ain't had no ride to get back to my mother's house. So I had to call my peoples so that they can get me back to my mother's house. So they came up on go mode. I didn't know they was going to be on go mode like that, but whatever. Part of the reason why they was on go mode is because they were sick of him doing the stuff that he was doing. Like, it was just too much stuff leading up to it, and they just wanted to fade. Me and my mother, we get in her truck and we ride up to his job. At that time, he was working at the jewelry store inside of the mall. We go inside of his store and he's with the customer. But I'm trying to get his attention because I'm trying to figure out, where's my child? If you're at work, where's my child? She could have been at his mom's house, but that wasn't the case. So I'm asking him, where's our child? So he's like, she's safe. She's safe. Okay, where's her location? The safe, I get it, but where is she? Because now it's time for me to come and pick her up. I'm telling him, I'm like, I'm not even here for the car. I don't even care about the car no more. Where's my child? So he sends me this address. Don't know what the address is. So I'm telling him, I'm like, listen, I am about to go and pick up the rest of my stuff from the house. I'm just about to pack the rest of my stuff up. So he's like, okay. That's how he said, okay. The house wasn't that far from the mall. So me and my mom, we go to the house so that I can get the rest of my stuff. Once we had parked the car, I went up the 3 flights of steps and I proceeded to try to get inside the door. Y'all, tell me why this man done changed the locks on me. Changed the locks on me, though. That's illegal. That is illegal. So I call the leasing office like, excuse me, so-and-so had changed the locks on your doors, and I know that is illegal. So the leasing office is like, no, he cannot do that. I'm like, right. So I can't get inside of my apartment. Leasing office ain't really do nothing about it. So we called Papa Lock to pop the lock. Papa Lock working his ass off. He's working his ass off. He's sweating, butt crack out and all. He finally gets the door open, but here's the catch. He tells me that so-and-so ain't put the doorknob on correctly. He put it on wrong, so he had to pull the entire doorknob off. Yo, I walked in that apartment. Why my shit was packed by the door? This nigga packed my shit. He packed my stuff. Like, he was putting me out. Like, I did something to him. But I'm like, it's cool. It's cool. So me, my mother, my aunt, and my friend, we start loading the trucks up, start loading the cars up. So at this point, we're on a mission. My mother stopped. She went to go see about where my daughter was, drove to the location, and me, my aunt, and my friend, we still packing it up. So like I said, we're on the mission. The mission was grab the baby, grab our stuff, and say bye-bye. Mission ain't go too good. So while my mother is going to the address that he had sent us, that he said that my child was at, me, my aunt, and my friend, we were still packing up the stuff that was in the house. We were still loading up the trucks. So
As we are doing that, I get a call from my mother. My mother is telling me that there is a lady coming to the door at the address that she had went to, and she's telling my mom that my daughter is not there. So I get instantly like irritated. So I'm like, what is going on? Like, it's just getting too messy. It been messy though. So my mother ride back to the apartment and she's going off because it's like, you sending us to this address, she's not there. Where's the child? He's not really saying too much to us, so we start to get worried. But again, like I said, we on the mission. Grab the child, that kind of failed. Grab our stuff, we was loading up the car, and say bye-bye. Time was ticking. It started to get dark. And we were pretty much done loading up the cars. So once when I had came back down the steps, y'all, I seen my truck pull up. It pulled up. It didn't turn into the parking lot, but it pulled up. So I knew it was him. And he drove off. So I'm like, what are you driving off for? I straight call him. What are you driving off for? What is going on? He ain't really trying to say nothing. I don't remember that conversation that we had on the phone because it was so long ago. But I'm like, what are you driving off for? So me and my mother, my aunt, my friend, we do what anybody else would do. We get to chasing him. So we hurry up and hop in the whips. So we pulls off. We following him around East Baltimore at this point. We all around East Baltimore, up and through the streets, following him. He ducking and dodging, we ducking and dodging. Like, come on now. So we couldn't follow him all night. So we came back to the apartment because we knew he was going to eventually have to come back to the apartment. When he came back to the apartment, he pulled up with him and his father. My child is nowhere to be seen. So in my head, I'm like, okay, this is what he's doing. He drove off to drop my child back off to his mother.
I don't even know if you all just saw it. She fights. She got her shoulders up like this. You know, she got that demeanor of, I'm about to explain myself, and if it don't go my way, we gonna get into it. Let's keep going.
And then whatever. So I don't know. I'm just trying to put pieces together. So he pulls back up to the house with his father, and they get out the car. So I do remember him saying, you said you was going to hit me. I did say that. Now that I remember, I did say that. So I'm like, come on now. What's up? So his father like, wait. What? I don't understand. Running his big ass mouth. So my mother hopped in it. So then he get to talking crazy to my mother. You're not going to talk crazy to my mother. So I hop in it. I'm like, you're not ready to say what you want to say to my mother. My mother like, yay, calm down. I got this. Big dog got it. So Big Dog was like, we just trying to figure out where the child is. Y'all are doing all of this running around, playing too many games. Where is she? So his father like, she's safe. Y'all keep using this safe word. Because y'all playing games. And there's too many games being played. So I get the wilding again.
And understandably, I see why she's going crazy. Not just because obviously she lost her daughter, but also given her daughter was last seen or with a man who is a pervert. It's a little close, too close to also being a predator, if you know what I mean. But let's keep going.
So they eventually get back in the car. So they lock the door. Me and my mother, we at the car window. They turn the music up. They dancing in the car like it's funny. Like, it was getting real bad. So I'm banging on the window because I'm like, yo, what's going on? We call the police, right? Police took some time to get there. But we eventually did call the police, me and my mother. Or no, we didn't call the police. I think they did. Sis been eating me up about these damn 10-minute videos. I got you, though. I got you. I ain't know how to really work TikTok, but I got you. So they still in the car. They turning up the music on us, dancing in the car. You know, being real nasty, whatever you want to call it. And me and my mother, we knocking on We knocking on the window of the car, trying to talk to him. We just still trying to get a hold of my child. That's all. And so while we're doing that, or while they doing that, I spot the best friend of my child's father at that time, and she big chilling. I don't know why he brought her. I don't know if he brought her to fight me. I don't know, but I was with all the shits. So I'm like, come out the door, come out the car, let's go. And so she not trying to come out the car. He like, lock the door, come out the car. Like, what are we doing here? You brought her for what? Come out the door. Come out the car. And so she never come out the car, whatever. But eventually, the police had came. It was 2 police officers. So one of the police officers had pulled them aside, and one of the police officers had pulled me and my mom aside. So they just trying to figure out what's going on. I do get into it with his stepdad at that time. His stepdad was upset. He felt disrespected that my peoples came up to his house on go mode. But like I said, I didn't know that they were on go mode at all. But they had every reason to be on go mode because of how my child's father was acting and everything that led up to that point. Like, they still had beef. Because like I said, my aunt boyfriend is one of the my aunt fiance was one of the ones who was up there at his stepfather's house, because he still ain't get his fade from his fiance, which is my aunt, being inside of those folders too. So he had every right to be upset. But I do get it. That was his stepfather's house, whatever. But anyway, I'm explaining everything from the time that I found all of this crazy stuff up until now to the police officer. The police officer can't even say nothing. Like, his face just gave, what the hell is going on? His face just gave, what is this man doing? So the police officer pulls me and my mom closer. So he's like, let me tell y'all something. He said, tomorrow, go to the courthouse. First thing in the morning, you need to go to the courthouse. You need to get a protection order. The protection order will cover you and your daughter. It will also give you temporary custody over your daughter. And what he mean by temporary custody is because at that time, nobody had custody over my child, because we were both, we were together. We were living in the same house. There was no custody established, right? So he's like, it will grant you temporary custody. It will grant you temporary custody over your child. And from that point on, that whatever happens after that, whatever happens. But he said you need to do that first thing in the morning. And so that's what me and my mother did. He gave us the address. He gave us the phone number. He said, this is what you need to do. And I felt like he definitely understood the situation. He was a black police officer. He come on now. He knows. So that night, I didn't come home with my child. My child was still with her dad. And I cried that night, all night, because I just could not believe that this shit was happening. Like, I don't have access to my child. I don't know where she is. And it hurt real bad. So best believe the next morning, me and my mother, first thing in the morning, we woke up and we went down to that courthouse. I stood in front of that judge. I pleaded my case, granted me protection order with temporary custody over my child. So at that point, he had nothing else to do but surrender my daughter. So we went up to his mom's house because I knew that's where he was staying. But let me tell you, he tried to be slick. I already knew. He would park the car in her backyard or whatever. Like, I ain't gonna see that big ass truck in her backyard. Like, come on now. So we went up to his mom's house. We called the police because the police had to be there so that he could surrender the child. And that's what he had to do. His mother was very upset. His mother, but y'all don't know what they did. Y'all don't know what they did. And the police officer not trying to hear that. They're not trying to hear none of that. They just following the court order that I had. And so I finally got my child back. Me and my mother, we went back home. And then as soon as we went back home, I started to come up with a plan for me and my daughter. So like I said before, me and my child's father, we had everything together. His name was on the loan of the car. Technically the car was in my name, but he was the co-signer on the loan. The apartment we had together, and I think there was the two main things that we had together that I needed to get sorted out. So my first thing was to call the leasing office. I called the leasing office. The leasing office explained to me that I could not take my name off the lease, because that's what I was asking for. I was telling the leasing office I don't live there anymore. I have a protection order. I can't be around the other party that lives in the house as well. So I would like my name off the lease. The leasing office told me that they wouldn't be able to take my name off the lease because if I take my name off the lease and he doesn't qualify for the apartment by himself, then I will remain on the lease until it was up. And of course he wasn't going to come up to the leasing office to sign any papers because he still needed a place to live. So my name didn't come off the lease, unfortunately. So I had to wait for that. But then the next thing for me to do was to get the car, send it back to where I got it from. At this point, I just needed to let it go, because he wasn't trying to take his name off the loan. He still had the car, so it's nothing that I could have really done about that. But unfortunately, the car ended up being repoed anyway because he wasn't making payments on it and I wasn't making payments on it because the car wasn't in my possession. I did call the bank that I had the loan with, letting them know that the car wasn't in my possession, and they told me that I would have to file a police report to report the car stolen. But I didn't do that. I just kept taking the tags off the car that he was putting on there. So the first tag that I had took off was the actual tag that we had got from the dealership. I took that off. Me and my mom, we had went late at night, got the tags taken off the car, and I had turned them into NVA so that I wouldn't be penalized for any fees. He kept putting tags on the cars, and he put his mother old tags on the car. He had put cardboard tags on the car, like all types of stuff. Took those off too. And then he ended up getting the car repoed. The car got repoed. It fell on my credit heavy, and the rest was history with that car. That car is still on my credit to this day, and it's been years. But anyway, my next step was to start saving up money so that me and my child can have our own apartment and our own place to live so that I can move out my mom's house. And it took so much time to do that because when you are in a space where you have been broken down, where you have no faith anymore, where there's no joy in your life anymore, you fall into a stage of depression. Like all of that stuff plays a huge role, and it played a huge role in my mental and emotional health. And it was very, very hard to try to pick myself up with a almost 1-year-old child by myself. But I knew that that's what I was going to have to do from the jump, especially if I wanted to file for full custody against him. So I had to find that mommy strength. I had to find that strength to keep moving and to keep pushing. And that's pretty much what I had to do. That's pretty much what I did.
So, what do you guys think about that story time? I think that she got with an absolute pervert, okay? He was going around taking pictures of her when she was completely unaware, taking pictures of her family members. Do you know how disgusting and perverted that is? That's borderline predatory, bruh. I mean, that is predatory. You know, hopefully he wasn't taking pictures of any children or anything like that, but yeah, that's outright insane. And I do understand why she would want to get her kid back. It's both of their child, but I understand why. Obviously because it's her child and she wants him back, but other than that, being a pervert is very close to being a predator. Lord knows what he could have done to their child had he, just had her in private. Maybe I'm reaching. You guys tell me in the comments. Doesn't sound like that great a reach to me. But please let me know down below, what do you think about this video? Do you think that she was justified in putting her paws on him because he was taking pictures of her family members? Do you think she was justified in that domestic abuse? Do you think that he was absolutely wrong for taking the child away? Or do you think that it's okay for him to do that because it's both of their children? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you for tuning into this Clocked Out Conversation, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.